Oh, there we go. There we go. What's up, people? How you doing? My name is Tim Black. Welcome to the Tim Black at Night show. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here. You are mighty, mighty, mighty special. You're just special, one of God's special little creatures. Aren't you special? What up, y'all? Let me first, before we get started, let me go make sure people can hear and see us on the internet. Let me start off with YouTube. What up, YouTube? How y'all doing? Karen M, what's up? Claire, what's going on? NM Steve, Bud Roland. Warner's a fraud. Okay. Adrian PN. Can you guys hear me? George Parker, Buck Bewley. What's up, Buck? Don't forget, guys, go to the Speak On It group, the Tim Black Speak On It group on Facebook. And right now would be an excellent time to share this on your social media accounts, whether it's Facebook or Twitter or wherever you hang out. Let people know that we are live and direct right now. Antonio T, Miss Muffet, Candy Jack, Uli's in the house, Astarte Jones, Astarte, and Kelly and Tracy and Karen and Fred and In Deep and Julie. We got a nice crowd on YouTube forming, guys. We got the best crowd on the internet right now running. I love my people. I love what we do as a community. Green Main, how you doing? Mama Alaska, how you doing, Laura? The most diverse, I will tell you that. Every color, every ethnicity, every political persuasion, every religious persuasion, every orientation, we have it. It's just a crazy mix of people that care about reality and care about where the country's going, who come together to speak a little truth to power and feed off each other's energy and learn a couple things and have a laugh at the same time. It's like a lot going on. So thank you guys on YouTube for being here. Thank you, Tim Black's Wolfpack in the house. Now, let me go on over to my Facebook people. Facebook people, how y'all doing? Glad y'all could be here. Hope you can hear me. Bill Rawls and Nicole Sears and Amanda and Rosemary and Lynn and Ty and Julie and Dolores. Man, I'm surprised I got people over here. What's up, Bruce? Woo! I'm getting so yanged out on my Facebook. It's ridiculous, man. I'm glad I still got some Tim Black Wolfpack members over here. Thank you, Tim Black Wolfpack members. Thank you. Thank you for keeping me relevant on Facebook. I was told I'm irrelevant. I don't matter. We all matter. We all matter. But you know how it is. That's what they say. That's what they say to your brother Tim Black. They would never say that to Rachel Maddow. They would never say that to Rachel Maddow or Don Lemon or Anderson Cooper, even though they all get paid to lie to you. But me, it's sad. It's got to be a sister. It's got to be a sister or a brother that do it. You don't matter, Tim Black. It's never like, But I want to thank you all for proving that I do matter, that we matter, that what we're trying to build here matters. I appreciate you all for being here because, hey, we sure ain't doing it for the salary, are we? Because it don't pay good to tell the truth. Come on now, it don't pay well to tell the truth. Pays to shut up and do what everybody else is doing to get paid. But I don't never get no respect. I get respect where it matters, man. Thank you guys for being here. Look, I got a lot to cover tonight. Julie and Caroline, and let me name a couple more people before we get going. Caroline and Lynn and Zara and Tina and Paul and Amanda and Amy. Yeah, see, these people, they Tim, see, this made me feel better right now. Because these people, they know me. So let me read a couple more people. Evan and Wes and Crystal. What's up, Crystal? And Steve and Amy and Eduardo, Jennifer, Henry and Lisa. Yeah, man, we matter to each other. Thank you all for being here. You all matter to me. I hope I matter to you. Hope we matter as a community. Let's go ahead and kick some butt tonight. It's okay, y'all. I'll be all right. I'll be all right. And you know what? Oh, man, we got a heavy show tonight full of relevant information. So much information tonight, man. I'm like, okay, Tim, do your best to keep this like tight, because if not, we're gonna be sitting here 2 hours, and we can't sit here 2 hours on a Thursday. We just can't do it. All right, so my first story. You know, they're trying really hard to make us look at Elizabeth Warren as a leader. They tried really hard, man. They're like, come on, y'all. Elizabeth Warren is a leader. You need to accept it, respect it, and appreciate it. If you cut on pretty much anywhere, and I do mean anywhere, on cable media, if it's sort of left-leaning or moderate or it's even centrist, for the most part, they're telling you how great Elizabeth Warren is. So that's the thing. That's the running thing. You got to be on that bandwagon. And you'll notice a lot of pundits, a lot of commentators are all riding Elizabeth like sort of like, she's great and she's the new, yay. Because she's safe. She's safe right now. So I'm one of those people that have never jumped on the Elizabeth bandwagon. I'm one of those people who never equated Bernie and Elizabeth together because I just don't feel like, first of all, they're not the same people. They don't have the same background or track record. They didn't, vote the same on the same bills. Yeah, if I got on a nice outfit and you show up wearing the same outfit after you saw what I wore, that doesn't mean we're the same just because you got on the same clothes. And I feel like a lot of these policies that are similar, like she didn't come up with them before Bernie. She came up with them after Bernie had already presented them. And if she really felt that these policies were who she was, why didn't she endorse Bernie back in 2016? She had a couple opportunities to do so, and she didn't. So if you're really going to fight for these policies that everybody keep telling me are so similar to Bernie's, I'm like, well, why didn't you want to fight for them in 2016? Or did we just have an awakening about health care? Did we just have an awakening about ending corruption? Like, where you been the last 4 years? So you know how it is. People, they take a personal shot. They look at you like you personally have something against Elizabeth Warren if you don't support her. And that's not the truth, man. In fact, there are candidates in this race who I dislike more than Elizabeth Warren, frankly, when it comes down to it, as far as who would be a good leader. But that doesn't mean I think Elizabeth Warren's a good leader. I just don't. And one of the reasons why I don't is some facts about Elizabeth Warren that you cannot ignore. But in order for you to know them, you have to be made aware of them. So the vast people the people that don't know about this stuff, I can't hold them accountable, but it's my job to let you know what's going on, because this is ridiculous. Take, for instance, the clip I'm about to show you. This is not a new clip. This clip has been around for over a year. Watch this clip, and I want you to tell me, well, we'll talk about it after you watch it. Check this out.
Would you consider introducing and sponsoring Betty McCollum's bill on Palestinian children's rights in the Senate?
So I now sit on armed services, and boy, I have been in the middle of the sausage-making factory on that one. And that has pushed me even more strongly in the direction of systemic reforms. I want to be able to have those debates. I want to be able to get them out in the open and talk about these core issues that affect our government, affect our people. I want to be able to debate them on the floor of the Senate. I want to be able to do amendments on them. Right now, the hold of big money over our government stops much of that. It chokes off much of the debate we should have. So I'm going to give you a system-wide answer because I think that's what matters here. This is not about one particular proposal. This is all the way across. How is it that we get the voices of the people heard in government instead of over and over the voices of the wealthy and the well-connected, the voices of those who can hire armies of lobbyists? So for me, that's what this is about.
Anybody notice anything in that clip that kind of jumped out at you? Anybody? Okay, so there's this term I've been using. I created it. It's called ear fatigue. Some of you audiophiles, the people who love music, and not just in a general way, but you listen really closely to the instruments. You get really into it, and you can tell the sonic quality of music, like the way the sound is located in your ear and where it's coming from, and the crispness and the clarity and the deep bass. You know what I'm talking about? So like you know what it's like when you got bad headphones on as well, when it's like your ear gets tired. Your ears start to hurt. That's what Elizabeth Warren just did to this poor person who asked this question about Palestine or Palestinians. She just kept talking till the guy got tired of listening. She went down the street, round the corner, stopped off at a friend's house, kissed a couple babies, checked out the new rose bush in the front yard of her friend's house. Hey, that's nice what you're growing there. This is really nice. Got back in the car, drove a little while, stopped off, picked up an ice cream cone, and then came back to the podium and was like, okay, where were we? And by that time, the poor guy didn't even remember what he was asking her. This is all strategic. The man basically asked her, would you support the right for Palestinians to be alive and to be treated as human beings? And she couldn't just say yes or no. She had to tell you all of this long scenario that basically leads to her saying, we got a lot of corruption, Tim Black. Oh, fiddly sticks, Tim Black. We got so much corruption. We got so much of dirty dealings in Washington, D.C. It's up to Patukas. It's a pain in my tuchus. It's so horrible what we have here. So in order for us to stand up for Palestinians, we'd have to first get rid of money out of politics. We'd have to end corruption. And I'm not saying she's wrong about that. We do need to end corruption. But, you know, there's other ways that we can stand up to corruption, like right now, immediately. And that is just deciding not to give in to the big money interest. Yeah, you could just stand up right now and just say, I support the right for Palestinians to be alive and be treated as human beings. And I don't care what you offer me, and I don't care what the lobbyists take away from me, I'm going to stand up for it. See, you don't have to actually wait until all the lobbyists are gone. All the lobbyists may never be gone. But a leader leads. That's what leaders do. Leaders risk it. They take the risk. They realize, hey, this may not go well. This may have some repercussions, but it's the right thing to do. I'm going to risk it because it matters that I do this thing. And what do followers do? They wait for somebody like, you know, somebody else to take the challenge, to bear the brunt of the risk. Then they kind of sashay up. Hi, everybody. My name's Elizabeth Warren, and I'm a fighter. Well, I've already been fighting. I've already fought. I've been fighting for 6 rounds. Where you been? Well, I've been over here. I don't mean to interrupt you. I'll be over here while you keep fighting. I'm over here. And see, that's not what leadership is about, and that's not something that inspires people. Now, this clip, once again, is not a new clip. This is back from 2018. Has Elizabeth Warren changed? No, she hasn't. She's still the same. She still doesn't stand up. She still talks a good game, but she doesn't follow it up with actual deliberate actions. She still complains about how things are, but she won't even say the words such as she did earlier last weekend, when they asked her about changing the order of the Democratic primary states. I mean, how dangerous is that? To say maybe we shouldn't have the Democratic primary start in the 2 whitest states in the country. Maybe we should mix it up a bit. Not get rid of them. They still get the vote, but maybe we should mix it up a little bit. She said that was like a gotcha question. Oh, that's a gotcha question. You expecting me to step up and be a leader? Oh, I'm not going to risk anything. And Elizabeth Warren proceeded to treat Amy Goodman like she was a crazy person with her head on backwards because she asked Elizabeth Warren a question that could be answered. So this is the part of the problem we have with the Democratic Party. Leadership is that we don't have it. It's non-existent at the moment. Backbone matters. And like I said this on Twitter, guys. I would rather that Elizabeth Warren be loud and wrong, but stand up for something. I'd rather that than for her to be who she is, which is wishy-washy, flimsy-spined, technocratic, hiding behind words, slippery, bowing, elusive. These things are not things. These are not characteristics of people that lead movements. They don't lead movements. They lead losses. They lead losses and catastrophe and failures and more of the same old crap that we already have. So, folks, this is when you look it up, because what people like to do, they like to say that the Tim Black Wolf Pack loves to tear down candidates. Oh, they just tear down candidates. Only candidate they like is Bernie Sanders, and they destroy everyone else. Oh, there's that black guy with the bald head who just says mean things and makes fun of people's voices. I make fun of more than just their voices, Johnson. Keep it real. Voices, mannerisms, votes, stances, fakeness, corruptness, all that stuff, everything. I'm just not, don't put me in a box. But also what you could also mention is that we call it out. If you want us to look at these candidates in a better light, get some better candidates. Get people that we actually can support. You think I just want it to be a limited amount of people that we support? We'd all love to have more fighters for the people. No one's paying us. No one's paying the Tim Black Wolf Pack to like a certain candidate or not like another candidate. But when the best you got for me is a person who can't even say Palestinians deserve to live, or the best you got for me is somebody who won't even say, hey, we should diversify. Yeah, a little diversity will be good in the Democratic primary. When you got a person who's unwilling to endorse a candidate whose entire platform they end up taking as their own, but when it was time to endorse them, they wouldn't, and they hid behind saying, I want to be fair and just wait to see what happens. Well, when you got that type of candidate and that's the person you're forcing down my throat, pushing, but don't be upset when I push back. Don't call me a hater when I refuse to swallow it. I have a gag reflex. It's involuntary. It engages on its own when it detects BS. All right, guys. We got a lot more stories to get to. As most of you know who are new, even if you're, well, just in case you're new here, let me let you know. This show is brought to you by the Tim Black Wolf Pack. See these people online that you're bumping into? These people, most of them or some of them have been here for a long time, some as many as 5-6 years. Others joined back in 2016, 2017. Then there are some people that just found out about us last year or maybe even this month. But we all have one thing in common. We want some truth. Well, maybe two things. We like to laugh with our truth. So become a member of the Tim Black Wolf Pack. You do that either here on patreon.com, Tim's Take Live, or on YouTube. I don't know how much longer they're going to let me do my thing on Facebook. They don't like when I run clips on Facebook. But it is what it is. Seriously, they don't like it. It's called the news. It's called this. That's all it is. It's called the news. All right. Let's go to the next one. So, guys, they did it again. They're running another rich guy at us, but like as if we somehow didn't know we already had a rich guy already running at us. You know, Deval Patrick, he not only announced that he was going to run, he was thinking about running, well, he actually threw his hat in the ring. We now have Deval Patrick in the race for the nomination after years of him talking and procrastinating, and my understanding his wife didn't want him to run because she's smart. Maybe she knows what we know, or what I know at this point, which I'll get to later. Deval Patrick, former governor of Massachusetts, Bain Capital guy, worked for Texaco and AmeriQuest or some conglomerate of hedge fund, well, not hedge funds, but property, something to do with property and management, or I don't know, taking home loans and doing stuff with them and throwing them in the air. Well, anyway, he's entered the race. And it's just what we needed, Gosh. And it's just what we needed, Johnson. We needed ourselves a guy with a lot of money and a lot of connections, a centrist who's unexcited about running as he is unexcited about us changing anything in this godforsaken system. Ladies and gentlemen, here goes the campaign ad for Deval Patrick. Now, it's going to feel like you're transported back to the 80s. Yeah, because he's got his finger on the pulse of what's happening now, man. Woo! But what it makes up for, or what it lacks in being, current, it makes up for with nostalgia. Check it out.
Hi everyone, I'm Deval Patrick. I used to be governor of Massachusetts, but that's not where I started. I grew up on the south side of Chicago. I lived there with my grandparents, my mother and sister, and our grandparents' two-bedroom tenement, some of that time on welfare. And still, my grandmother used to tell us we were not poor, just broke. Because broke, she said, is temporary. Through the love and support of family, great teachers, adults in the neighborhood and in church, I learned to look up, not down, to hope for the best and work for it. I was the first in my family to go to college and law school, and have had a chance to work in government, in nonprofits, and in business. I've had a chance to live my American dream. But over the years, I've seen the path to that dream gradually closing off bit by bit. The anxiety and even anger that I saw in my neighbors on the south side, the sense that the government and the economy were letting us down, were no longer about us, is what folks feel all over America today in all kinds of communities. I admire and respect the candidates in the Democratic field. They bring a richness of ideas and experience and a depth of character that makes me proud to be a Democrat. But if the character of the candidates is an issue in every election, this time is about the character of the country. This time is about whether the day after the election America will keep her promises. This time is about more than removing an unpopular and divisive leader, as important as that is, but about delivering instead for you. So in a spirit of profound gratitude for all the country has given to me, and with a determination to build a better, more sustainable, more inclusive American dream for the next generation, I am today announcing my candidacy for President of the United States. Come be a part of this. We will build as we climb. To welcome other teachers and learners, other seekers of a better way and builders of a better future. This won't be easy, and it shouldn't be. But I'm placing my faith in the people who feel left out and left back, who just want a fair shot at a better future, not built by somebody better than you, not built for you, but built with you. Now let's get started.
Hi, everyone. My name is Deval Patrick. I'm horrible. Well, not horrible, really. I just sound as if I have something very large shoved up my ass when I speak. It's from years and years of denying that I am actually black. I was the first one in my family to sell out my family, to throw my soul on the roulette table and say, give her a spin. I went to great schools, lost all my melanin, became a white guy that black guys hate. And a black guy white people didn't want to be like. But I made a whole lot of money. I threw a whole lot of people out on the street on their asses just so that I can do what I'm doing now. Regret it all. And I owe a lot of people favors too. Yeah, you don't sell your soul like I've sold my soul, and you don't end up owing a lot of favors. So, I'm running for president to stop that damn Bernie Sanders. That's right. I'm not going to lie to you. That's my total purpose. I sound a lot like Joe Biden, but I'm not senile. Also, I don't smell people's hair. But as far as policy and what I'm about, we're pretty much the same. I wish Joe was doing his job better. Then I could sit around and sail my ships and drive my Trans Am and just do nothing. But unfortunately, I got to pay back all the people who've allowed me to be me. I'm running for president, not that I'm excited about it, but it's what I got to do. Because frankly, the DNC's got so much dirt on me about my brother-in-law who I fired people so he wouldn't have to register as a sex offender, and then he committed a rape. Well, let's just say I owe people some favors. So guys, don't vote for me because you're excited about changing the future, because I'm not your guy. And yeah, I was mad when Obama ran, but he's a much better politician than me. And I wouldn't know charisma if it fell out the sky and landed on my head. I'm Deval Patrick, a name you should forget as soon as you learn it. Not unlike Pete Buttigieg. It takes work. He became a governor. He became a governor, ladies and gentlemen. Some people voted for that guy. Let it sink in. Swirl it around in your head. Also let it sink in that there are people who saw this atrocious WKRP in Cincinnati, Family Ties-esque commercial and thought, yeah, this is what this race needs. And right now they're on cable news and they're saying how he's got a shot at something. He wouldn't have a shot if he had a full clip in an AR-15. Deval Patrick is a slap in the face for every voter out there who can see, hear, and tell when there's BS being spread. But see, they don't respect us at all. They think we're that dumb that we would support this guy. I've met white guys who were blacker than Deval Patrick. I've met Asians with more soul. And it's not about his color, but come on, if he was a white guy, would they be asking this guy to run? And don't tell me they didn't ask this guy to run. This guy's got to be smart. He knows who he is. He has to know. It's sort of like, you remember American Idol? I don't know even know if it still comes on. But there would be people that would go on that show who couldn't sing for nothing. Couldn't hold a note. They were horrible. I think they knew Johnson. But they wanted to be on TV for a minute. And they figured, hey, it's not so bad if we're all laughing at the same time. Deval Patrick, he knows that Deval Patrick makes Elizabeth Warren seem very interesting. And that ain't easy to do. Hey, look, I'm not saying the guy isn't accomplished. He's accomplished. But at what cost? I used to work with some guys like this, you know? It's why I do what I do now, because I don't want to be those guys. I was never going to fit in with these guys. Guys who sold their soul to have nice, shiny offices. But inside, hollow. All I'm trying to tell you guys is it's obvious that the Democratic Party, they're still running people at Bernie. They want to stop Bernie. And they're willing to do whatever they need to do it, even if they got to dust off Deval Patrick and send him out here to embarrass himself. It's a shame. They're not just scratching the bottom of the barrel with this. They're picking the barrel up. They're running their fingers underneath the goo underneath the barrel. They're balling it up and they're throwing it on a ballot and they're saying, that's what I think of you, America. And all I'm saying is, take the goo off the ballot, ball it up, and throw it back in their faces. And vote for a progressive. All right. That was pretty good. I like that. That was good. The Tim Black Show was unscripted. Totally off the cuff. That was pretty good for off the cuff. I need to get my writers. I need to increase the pay of my writers. Hey, writers, get in here. Let's talk about your salary. Okay, let's talk about it. Well, what am I paying you now? Nothing. I'll double it. Doubling. All right. Now, look, somebody on Twitter was like, somebody from the Yang Gang was pissed off at me. I think they're making fun. They're like, oh, look at you being serious, Tim Black. I like you because you're funny. Where's your funny stuff? Well, I told you I was going to do a Deval Patrick piece I thought you might smile at. And now here goes the part that you're not going to smile at because it's about your guy. Yeah, it's okay when I talk about Joe Biden and Pete Buttigieg and Amy Klobuchar, which I've done all week. But when it comes to this, like Yang Gang, oh, man. Dr. Jason Johnson, I know you've been seeing on my Twitter how this stuff's been going down, right? I haven't been over the top. I've been calling it as I see it. All right, so here we go, guys. This is how you know people don't care as much as they should care. Andrew Yang recently went on The Breakfast Club. When I say recently, I mean like yesterday. And it was a segment, well, you know, it was an interview. Now remember, this is not the first time that Andrew Yang has been on The Breakfast Club. He's sitting there on a radio station for the urban market, one of the most watched or most viewed urban stations. It's not owned by black people, but you got a black host and a black co-host and another black female co-host, but I don't think she was there. So it looks black anyway, right? And a lot of black and Latinos and cool white kids, young people listen to it, right? Okay. But the thing is that Andrew Yang has been on here before, and he already knows, at least he should already know, there's going to be some questions about black people. Because that's who watches the show, and the people who host the show, they're like, hey, well, we got to ask you questions that black people want to know, because if we don't, we'll get crucified. We got to ask these questions. Now, you might not listen to Breakfast Club, or you might not watch this stuff, but it's the same show that asked Hillary Clinton, and Hillary Clinton got caught up in 2016 with the hot sauce in her purse. It's also the same show that had Kamala Harris get caught up saying that she smoked weed, even though she locked people up for smoking weed. That she was listening to Tupac records before Tupac was even out. Stuff like that. It's also the same show where Bernie Sanders went on and they got smacked himself about reparations, and he didn't really have a good response for a black agenda. And on and on. Elizabeth Warren got caught up on Native Americans and her history of saying she was when she wasn't. So The Breakfast Club is a show that's going to ask you black questions, and anything you got in your closet, they're going to ask about that too. That thing that you don't want them to ask, they're going to ask. That's what they do. Well, folks, check this out. Okay, guys, my bad. I can't play the sound on this video because I'm afraid, well, I know for a fact that the Breakfast Club does not like us using their video or using their audio. So what I had to do is get a transcription service called Rev.com. I'm also a member of Rev.com. So I have a link in the description where if you use their stuff, let them know you came from me and they'll give you a discount. So here goes the actual transcript from the conversation, a portion of the conversation between Charlamagne and Andrew Yang. Let's take it from the top. Charlamagne starts it off. He says, how can you win black voters? Because like the black vote is very important this year, especially in places like Alabama, where they have primaries over 60% black. Yang responds, we have to get the message out to black voters in particular that we need to do better by people of color in particular. Because right now, these automation trends that I'm so worried about are going to impact black people the hardest. There was one study that said that I said this last time I was here, that African-American median net worth is going to be 0 in 2053. Because of that fact, we're going to get rid of a lot of the most common jobs. And if you think of a natural disaster, who suffers the most? Black people. Communities of color, of people that don't have cars to drive, drive away in. The same is going to be true of this economic natural disaster that's coming. That to me is going to be black people that lead the way, in part because black people see that we need to humanize the economy as quickly as possible and give our kids a fighting chance. I can agree with all that, says Charlamagne, but how do we get the black community to vote? Not out of fear, but because you're actually going to do something for them. Yang's response is, well, a lot of it I think is, the further I go, the more people think I can win. And then I get more support because I get it. Like early on, you'd be like, okay, this guy's saying some things I agree with, but can he contend? Can he win? But I'm still here growing, when like half a dozen senators and governors are already out of the race. Like when the debates go on and you still see this guy, and you have enough of us get together, we can actually make the big changes at the top. We can't nibble at the margins. We've been nibbling. We actually haven't been nibbling successfully for 30, 40, 50 years. And the debt has grown, and it's time to pay it off. Okay. Gracious. All right. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. I would have much rather liked to play the clip for you. I would have much rather let it be in his own voice. But like I said, I can't. I don't own the rights to it. I can't play it. But that's exactly what Andrew Yang said. And it was horrific. It was horrific because Andrew Yang has had an opportunity to prepare for this interview with Charlamagne the God. He's been on here before. He knows they're going to ask you, what do you have in the way of a black agenda? And you should have an answer. Have a spin, have a something, and he did not have that. Now, I would like to point out that Andrew Yang is not the only person who did badly when asked these types of questions at a point in time. Some of you may remember back that there was a time when Bernie Sanders was asked questions about reparations and he had a similar fumble. You know who called it out? You know who complained about it? You know who said that Bernie had to get better on that issue? Me. Because I actually want him to get better on the issue. I actually wanted him to improve because I actually am not just defending Bernie, I want him to effing win. And if you're going to inspire people, if you're going to deliver something that makes people excited and for them to want to support your campaign, you got to understand what's important to the people. What I've been seeing, guys, is horrific. These people don't even really want their guy to win. They just don't want you to say anything bad about him. And that, to me, is a disservice. Now I get it. Like, I'm different. I'm not a regular person who just watches content. I have a platform, and I feel like it's my responsibility to push candidates in the right direction. It's not all fun and games. You think I don't want Andrew Yang to articulate a solution for black folks? I do want him to articulate a solution for black folks. If he presents a popular solution that people like, other candidates will have to adjust to it. And it's better for the country. So unlike the people that condemn, who talk a lot of smack, and I get it. I've been here for 6-7 years. I know how it works, man. That's what you guys do. But you don't understand at all what the overall objective is. The overall objective is for Andrew Yang to be a better candidate. This is real. This is not a game. You don't just go on a show and have nothing. And if you sit back and you watch people like Bernie Sanders get destroyed basically online about this issue, if you watch Kamala Harris get roasted for it, if you watch Elizabeth Warren get smacked up on the Breakfast Club, if you watched Hillary Clinton basically, I would say, not mortally wound her campaign, but took significant damage, like she needed cheat codes to get out of that, why would you just approach this like it doesn't matter? Unless you don't think it really does matter. Case in point. After Bernie Sanders caught a lot of heat for his inability to articulate sufficiently about reparations, he changed his course. Bernie Sanders said he signed a bill to research reparations for descendants of slaves if he was elected president. This is what he announced when he went to it was a meeting. Senator Bernie Sanders on Friday said he would sign a bill to research reparations for descendants of slavery. The bill, sponsored by Democratic Representative Sheila Jackson Lee, would set up a commission to study reparations. If the House and Senate passed the bill, of course, I would sign it. There needs to be a study, Sanders said at the National Action Network conference in New York City. This is the type of response you want from your candidate. You want your candidate to evolve. You want them to get better. You want them to respect the criticism because it comes from a good place. It's real. You can't win the Democratic nomination without the support of large amounts of black people. White people in this country vote Republican more than they vote Democrat. There will never be another Democratic president if black people don't vote for them in large numbers. It won't happen. It can't happen. So if you're trying to get an Andrew Yang or a Tulsi Gabbard or a Bernie Sanders or an Elizabeth Warren or whoever you're trying to get, if they're running as a Democratic nominee or in the Democratic nomination, they're going to need black people. They're going to need larger groups of black people to make up for all the white people who are going to vote for Trump. And for you to look at me like I'm the enemy because I point out you can't win this way. I thought you said you thought you had a shot. I thought you guys say you got a shot. If you got a shot, then I need you to get better on this issue. And if I can hold the candidate that I favor, and I could put out a video taking them to task, if I can be vocal about them needing to clean it up, get on point, have a better response than, I don't know, then I can expect that of Andrew Yang, Elizabeth Warren, Tulsi Gabbard, and anybody else who runs. And if I don't call it out, unlike some of the people that won't call out anything about their candidates, who will just defend, well, you know what, to me, when you do that, that just goes to show it's about you, it's not about your candidate. And it's about you, it's not about saving this country or making this country better. Because if your candidate don't get better, your candidate ain't going to win. And it's that simple. So you may disagree with me, but at least now you know where I stand. And instead of you projecting onto me and my people and my Tim Black Wolfpack your negative feelings, your negative thoughts, your own bigotry, your own butthurtedness, your own victim, whatever that is you got going on, now you know the real deal. I happen to want a better country. I happen to want equality. I'm willing to be unpopular. I'm willing to be trolled. I'm willing to be even beat up by my own people occasionally, if it means I get it or if I help it happen. Because I'm just not here to pick up a paycheck. If I did, I'd still be in the corporate world working a 9 to 5. So Andrew Yang, hey, rookie mistake. Get better immediately or get the hell out the race. And that goes for anybody who can't talk to black people but want black people to vote for them. And scaring black people, them days is done. If they're not scared of Trump, they ain't scared of you, dog. Oh, well, if you don't vote for me, it's really scary for blacks. Well, we already got Trump. How much more scary can it be? What you gonna do? Oh, we already got him. So, to unget him, we have to vote for somebody who, when we bring up black issues, you act like you don't speak English, like you don't understand, like there's a breakdown in communication. You never thought of it before. Screw that. And it's not, look, and one last thing. Also, let's not forget, Kamala Harris went on the Breakfast Club and she said, I ain't doing nothing for black people. And what happened to her campaign? See, people, and I've given Tulsi Gabbard a lot of credit for calling out Kamala Harris. But you know who hurt Kamala Harris more than Tulsi Gabbard? Kamala Harris. With horrible hot takes like that. Don't believe me? See what happens. I'll be here. All right. Now, guys, I just want to remind you this show is brought to you by the Tim Black Wolfpack. It's tough, man. It's tough. Woo! We still got a lot more show to go, guys. Don't go anywhere. I got a quick message for you. I hope you like it. By popular demand, Johnson is here. I have new Johnson designs in my shop. If you want to pick them up, check them out. They are hilarious. They are revolutionary. And they're all Johnson. You're going to love them, man. Check them out. Both parties suck, Johnson. It's one of my favorites. Independent media only, Johnson. Keep it real. We are all Johnson. We are. We're one big community, guys. Go check it out. Independent media only. Johnson's in the house. Both parties suck, Johnson. We are here. They got a special going on right now. Free shipping. Get it today. Wolfpack. All right. All right. I'll make sure the volume is good. Actually, the next couple of days is 20% off. It's not free shipping, but it's 20% off. So go to timblacktv.com. You'll find links to all the gear, and we got all types of gear in the shop, and mugs and aprons and hats, everything. Okay. So look, guys, look, I was shocked, right? Because I heard this news yesterday, and it was after I did a video about Cenk Uygur. Because recently Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian both endorsed Bernie Sanders. And it wasn't shocking because, well, I don't watch that much Anna or Cenk, but I've been pretty much aware that Anna is a pretty big Bernie supporter. So never really doubted that she would endorse Bernie Sanders. But Cenk Uygur, on the other hand, you know, he's been very supportive of Elizabeth Warren. In fact, recently there was a debate where he was defending Elizabeth Warren, and it was like, I don't get it. Well, yesterday, I think it was yesterday, Cenk put out a video endorsement where he endorsed, Bernie Sanders. But it wasn't until after he kind of went through this spiel talking about how great Elizabeth Warren was. And he also said in the very clip that he felt that Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders were pretty much the same, like they were both very progressive and there wasn't much daylight between them both. I don't agree with that at all. But that's neither here nor there. I've already talked about that. I disagree. Well, it turns out, like shortly after I dropped that video, I found out that Cenk Uygur is running for Congress. He's running for Congress, guys. Come on now, check this out. I did not know this. Cenk Uygur, this is from his own Twitter timeline. He says, I'm running for Congress to represent California 25, and we fight together for this seat. It will be the best, it will be the people's seat. Fight with me by donating now. And there it is right there. Cenk, U.S. Senate, California 25, Cenk2020.com. There it is, guys. Cenk Uygur's running. And he's running and he's collecting money too. He's like, look, hey, Cenk 2020. That's right. Got an Act Blue account and everything. And you could go there. You could donate to the Cenk Uygur campaign. Help Cenk Uygur run. So, yeah. Yeah, that's what's happening. Look, how can I say this? Cenk Uygur would be taking the place. Cenk Uygur would be taking the place of Katie Hill, right? Katie Hill is a corporate hack. Katie Hill was a corporate hack who had to resign her position because she got caught up in a sex thing with an intern or with a campaign staff member or something, and then her husband totally disrespected her by putting some nude pictures of her out on the internet, and it got horrible and bad, and at the end of the day, she had to step down, okay? And she disappointed a lot of people because there are people, regardless to how corporate she was, they believed in her, right? And then they're disappointed because, well, now you got to step down all that work I did for you. So she had to step down, and that's the position, or that's the seat that's vacant that Cenk wants to take. Now, I don't have it. There's more to be known about, the seat, what's going on, and what this means for the Democratic Party. Guys, I got to tell you, I'm kind of torn about this. Just because I don't think that Cenk is me. Right? I know who I am. I know how I am. I get up on a stump and I tell people straight up, look, take your money and shove it up your ass. I came here to fight for the people. We going to change things or we going to get gone. If you think I'm a lie, I'm going to sit here and deny the truth. For you guys, you are crazy. You either put me in the ground or you pass this legislation. And I will be out in front of your house with a group of people to make you feel bad every day if you do not vote my way. This is what we came to do. We did not come to play with you. I'm not playing with you. This work at the post office, I don't have to do this. I'm doing this because I care about these things. Now, I know that I'm a rare breed of people. I've worked at some big companies. I know you're just a number that can be let go. Just like that. I know that family means more than anything else. And I know looking yourself in the mirror is what matters. What your kids think of you, what your wife thinks of you, what you think of yourself, and the impression that you're leaving on the world, what you leave behind. It's all about legacy. Because we're only here for that long, baby. I said that long, baby. But I realize that everybody don't think like me. Some people want to go to big parties and wear nice clothes, and they think that's where it's at. Jack, yeah, that's what's up, son. Looking good and doing this thing and doing that thing and hanging out with impressive people who don't even know you unless you work at a fancy place. So it's not fair for me to judge Cenk compared to me because I'm a different kind of guy. So I really had to look at this thing and say, well, who is Cenk running against? Yeah, like who are we comparing him to? Are we comparing him to people like you and I, who would turn down money in a blink of an eye? Who would rather be broke than compromise? Or are we comparing him to people that have no soul at all? Like, just don't give a damn. You know, who look at regular working people as garbage. Who've sold out so long ago, they don't even know what it's like. They don't even remember what it's like to actually fight for something. So, look, I'm not trying to say Cenk's the worst person or take everything from him. I'm not. But what I'm saying is, even though I've had disagreements with him, I don't think he's a corporate tool. I just disagree with him on some things. And I'll tell you this. I probably would have given you a different rant if I hadn't gone to Politicon. Yeah, see, a lot of you don't. See, people say don't go to these things. You're going to go there and be around a bunch of snobs. Or you're going to go there and be around a bunch of establishment people. You should go. You need to go sometimes. Go be around these people. Remind yourself of who you aren't. You shouldn't always want to just go around people that are just like you. Sometimes you need to go places where you don't fit in just to know who you are and who they are. See, when I went to the Politicon and I was at the hotel and I had my wife with me and we had a granddaughter with us. And my sons were with me. And we were all in the lobby of the hotel where everybody was staying. And we're talking big name people like April Ryan and Yamiche Alcindor and Touré and all these big names, right? Dr. Jason Johnson, all these people that come on shows, James Carvell and all of them, Rich Priebus. And when I bumped into a few of them, a few of these people, these names you know, some of them recognized me. We're like, hey. I was like, oh, they recognize me? They were like, yeah, I know you. The Zelina Maxwells, these people. Some of them couldn't place me. They've seen my face before. And they say stuff like, oh, who you with? I'm like, I'm with myself. No, I mean, who do you work for? Are you with MSNBC or CNN or New York Times? Who are you with? I said, oh, well, my name's Tim Black. I own own my own, got my own company, own media company. It's called Tim Black TV, TBTV, TTL Media. No one owns us. We're black-owned. We're the largest black-owned independent media on the left. Been at it for like 8 years, 30 million views just on YouTube alone. We average about 5 to 10 million views every month on all across social media. And we've been, we do it. Yeah. We interviewed presidential candidates and congressmen and senators and activists. They were like, so you with nobody, huh? Ugh. Independent. Ugh. Okay, Tim Black. See you later. And even though that didn't feel good to be around people who were snooty in that way, it was good because I must remember who these people are. Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian and all of the TYT network are not MSNBC. They're just not, guys. You think those people would have looked at me different if I'd have said TYT? You thought they would have been like, oh, okay, cool. Nah, they'd have been like, oh, TYT. Ugh. They might not have been as disrespectful, but they'd have been a little disrespectful because, You don't work for a big enough corporation. You're not part of a big enough piece of machinery. What I'm trying to tell you is, for all the misgivings, all my disappointments, all my disagreements, all of my different takes, all of those things, Cenk Uygur is not Anderson Cooper. He's not Wolf Blitzer. He's not Rachel Maddow. And the TYT network is not CNN, dog. And I know, because when I looked in the faces of Yamiche and April Ryan, who looked at me like they wouldn't lift a finger if I was on fire, I can tell you, it's different. So, hey, look, I'm glad Cenk is doing something positive. We'll judge Cenk based on what he does. At least Cenk knows he has people to answer to. So I'm going to give him the room to do it, and I'm not going to be bashing him as he goes down this journey. All right? So that's how I feel about it. I hope maybe if I haven't changed your opinion about it, at least I give you something to think about, because you know I've been very critical. But I think there's a time and place for being critical. And right now, they're going into the real realm of whatever. All right. Good luck, Cenk. Stand up. Okay, guys. So, next segment. I got another segment coming here. Part of the, I tell you, man, part of what we've been seeing in the media, and part of the things that we complain about, you know, in our cable media, CNN's, MSNBC's, Fox News, all of them, right, is we complain about the media bias. And what I've been learning, guys, is that us as Bernie supporters or Tulsi supporters or Yang supporters or whatever you support, whatever you're into, Julian Castro, whatever's your thing, everyone complains. Yeah. Look. I've been learning as I get out of my bubble more that there are people complaining from the Kamala Harris group. Her supporters complain she didn't get enough coverage. And there are people complaining from Julian Castro's camp that he didn't get enough coverage. Do you know that Beto O'Rourke's people complained that he didn't get enough coverage either? And when he did get it, it was negative? Yeah, like we think it's just our candidate. But if you go and frequent other groups, you'll see they have the same complaints as you. Now, there is a thing called reality. All right? There is an independent analysis, because there's this thing called numbers, which will tell the story of who really is getting the short end of the stick. But I just want you to know that media is doing a lot of candidates pretty badly. And certain candidates are benefiting and other candidates are not. Check this out.
But it's different. You know, I don't need to go see South Bend. I saw 100 different cities when I was HUD secretary, right. And I was mayor of a city. I have a lot of respect for Mayor Buttigieg, but I do think that our experience level is different. You know, I don't need to go see South Bend. I saw 100 different cities when I was HUD secretary, right. And I was mayor of a city that's 14 times larger than South Bend. In fact, we could almost fit South Bend in our Alamo Dome in San Antonio. Right? So,
The next Democratic presidential debate, hosted by MSNBC and The Washington Post in Atlanta, is just 10 days away. And these are the candidates who have qualified so far. Noticeably absent from the lineup is President Obama's former HUD Secretary, Julian Castro, who has struggled to gain traction in the national polls. A recent Telemundo poll even found that Castro, the sole Latino candidate, is in a three-way tie for fifth place among Latino voters with only 2% support. So why is that? Is it him? Or is it us? Are he and other lower polling candidates failing to properly compete for attention in an extremely crowded field? Or is the media writ large failing to give all of the candidates equal attention because our profession has already declared the election a race between a small number of top-tier candidates? It's worth noting that even with the most diverse field ever, the top 4 candidates in the polls are all white, and with the exception of Senator Warren, are all men. And at least one of those candidates is promoting the narrative that this race is even narrower than it looks.
I think this is getting to be a two-way. It's early to say it. I'm not saying it is a two-way, but I think.
But you see that. You see it's coming into focus, you and Warren.
Yeah, and certainly a world where we're getting somewhere is that world, where it's coming down to the two of us.
Buttigieg later walked back that comment, saying it didn't come out right. Joining me now is Midwin Charles, a civil trial and criminal defense attorney with Midwin Charles & Associates. Maria Teresa Kumar, president of Voto.
All right. So I just cut it off there. I don't want to play too much of it. We don't want any problems. Plus, basically what they come up to is what they start addressing is the issue of coverage and who gets more coverage and who gets more favorable coverage and who gets more negative coverage, and is this on purpose or what is it? And the reality is that cable networks they favor what they think people are going to watch more often, and that may leave out other candidates. Check out this document or this graphic.
I don't need to go see.
Damn it. Here we go. Cable coverage. Cable coverage of candidates. Share of 15-second cable news clips mentioning each candidate week of 1020 to 1027. So as you know, this is kind of old. But I don't know if it's changed that much. 39% or almost 40% of the time, they were talking about Joe Biden. Elizabeth Warren, 23% of the time, and Bernie Sanders, 17% of the time. Tulsi Gabbard got a lot of coverage at 15.4% of the time, and it kind of goes downhill from there. And, so in the panel, they discuss these things kind of over and over. I think I have another graphic that we could take a look at here. Here we go. Also, MSNBC is the most influential network among liberals, and it's ignoring Bernie Sanders. This is an article by InTheseTimes.com pointing this out, how often the 3 candidates were discussed and logged whether the coverage was positive, negative, or neutral. And as you can see here, positive is in green and the negative is in the black. So as you can see here on MSNBC, look at the analysts, you can see how much they talked about Bernie in a positive manner. Rachel Maddow appears to be the only one who talked about, Bernie much in a positive manner. And then Elizabeth Warren looks like she's getting a lot of love from Rachel Maddow and Lawrence O'Donnell and Ari Marbler, and pretty much everyone has been giving Elizabeth Warren favorable coverage. And if you look here, you see that Joe Biden is next, and then, he was getting some kind of spotty coverage from Chris Hayes and from Ari Melber. But Bernie's pretty much in the doghouse with, Brian Williams and Chris Matthews and, to a lesser extent, Chris Hayes and Ari Melber. So, the favorability coverage is kind of spotty there for Bernie Sanders. And look, this is why I was saying it matters. It matters not just how much coverage you get, but what kind of coverage you get, right? That's why I was always kind of amazed at the way that Donald Trump was able to take negative coverage and make it positive by leaning into saying things that were crazy. He'd say pretty much anything. It didn't have to be factual. It was just something he knew would keep the attention on him. And then he'd say something that he knew that the audience would react to. And once again, it wasn't so much about accuracy as it was about conveying a feeling like, I'm a fighter against the establishment. And that's what people walked away with. And once you plant the seed that the media can't be trusted, well, then the fact checkers don't matter. So that's the brilliance, if there is brilliance that can be considered about Donald Trump, it would have to be his ability to play in and lean into the negative coverage that he was receiving. And he received a lot of it, Johnson. So I saw a tweet that went out. It was about Bernie Sanders, and it was about coverage. And here it is. Here goes some of that. Bernie's lack of coverage. Well, this is actually a video of Faiz campaign manager for Bernie Sanders, talking about some things about Bernie that we don't hear often.
So here we are in the fourth quarter. I'm a bit of a sports fan, so I've been telling people internally here on staff, 4 fingers up in the air for sports fans up there, win the fourth quarter. Everything that we have done up until this point for 3 quarters has positioned us to do extremely well down the home stretch. We're turning the last corner and down the stretch we come, and it's a sprint to the end, and this is where our muscle has to flex hardest. And so we have a few, while we don't have the media always at our side in support of this campaign, we do have a lot of other advantages that other campaigns don't have, and that's how we're going to exercise. So one is we've got a volunteer force that is unrivaled in presidential history. No campaign, think about this, no campaign in presidential history up at this point has had as many individual volunteers and contributions as this campaign has. That's amazing. That's historic. You're part of something historic. We are building it together. That means there's no campaign that has more individual contributions than Donald Trump's campaign. We are the only one. The Bernie Sanders campaign is the only one who's got more individual contributions than Donald Trump's at this point in time. Think about that. When you think about which candidate is best positioned to defeat Donald Trump, that proof is in the pudding right there. We are building this movement, this multiracial working class movement for justice. It's right there, right before people's eyes if they cared to truly pay attention to it and assess the electability of this candidate.
That's right. So when we talk about Bernie Sanders coalition, we're talking about all types of people. We're talking about a very diverse, the most diverse coalition. And this is something that I was trying to point out when I got into back and forth at Politicon with a couple folks. Bernie Sanders has the most donations, most individual donations. So when we listen to these pollings and they got a sample size of 1,000 or 3,000 people, I'm like, well, maybe in that sample size there's more people that like Elizabeth Warren or like Joe Biden for whatever reason. But when we're talking about the masses of people, what's more evidence of being strong with the people than people giving money? It's pretty, you got to be pretty into your candidate if you're giving him more donations, individual donations, not the amount of money, the number of donors. Now, I'm not saying it definitely, absolutely, 100% will transfer into the polls, but I got to imagine people that give their money are pretty motivated to come out and vote for you. I know people, someone argue, you argue against that, but no. So that's the thing. It's not about the amount of money, it's the number of donors and the number of volunteers. Number of volunteers, number of donors, number of offices, infrastructure. So Bernie has a lot of things going for him, even though to the numbers, based on the stats, he didn't get the amount of coverage that Joe Biden gets. In fact, it was almost 3 times the amount. Joe Biden got 3 times the amount of coverage as Bernie Sanders. And Joe Biden got twice the amount of coverage as Elizabeth Warren. But Elizabeth Warren got more positive coverage than Biden and Bernie Sanders. But who's getting the raw end? Bernie on all fronts. Amount of coverage and amount of positive coverage. So the fact that this is a race that's now heating up, the fact that right now we're seeing these endorsements come out that are favorable, they matter. Everything matters from here on out. The fact that Deval Patrick's in this race now, and they're saying he's in it to stop Elizabeth Warren, I don't buy that for a second. I hope you don't buy it either. That's not who. Elizabeth Warren has offices in a couple of places. Bernie has them all across the country. Who you think really is a threat? The person who nearly beat, and some would argue did beat Hillary Clinton, or someone who didn't get in the race last time. This time has taken a lot of the policy positions or policies directly, lifted them from Bernie Sanders, or the actual real thing, Bernie Sanders. I think Bernie Sanders is the real threat. So there you have it, Johnson. So regardless of what the polls say, you do the math in your own head. What do you think matters more? What some poster says, what some talking head on TV says, or what the donors say. And remember, in all the polls that I cover, I try to remind people, because I had a couple comments from people like, Tim, you want to believe the polls when it's positive for Bernie, and when it's not positive, you want to say they don't matter. No, I'm not saying that at all. First of all, when they're polling people, typically they're only polling likely Democratic voters, people who voted for the Democrats last time. You know who they're not polling? They're not polling independents. Did you know that Bernie polls very well with independents? So his strongest block are independent voters, and they're not even talking to them. They won't do that until the general. In the primary, they don't poll. The Democratic Party will not poll outside of its own party. And what if you voted for Trump last cycle because you didn't like Hillary, but you really voted for Hillary? And that happened in a lot of places. There are a lot of places where people who voted for Trump only voted for Trump after voting for Obama twice. So those people will likely come back and vote if they don't like what Trump has done. And I got a feeling a lot of people are going, hey, what happened with all the change? What happened with all the tax breaks we were supposed to get? You gave them to the corporations. What's the Democrats got? And they're willing. They're open. They are open to looking at Bernie Sanders. So those people are not even being polled. And then also remember that I think in New Hampshire, 60% of people hadn't even made their minds up yet. So the polls are deceitful. That's why I say we can't put all our stock in the polls. But one thing that keeps me very optimistic is number of campaign offices, record-setting number of volunteers, record-set number of individual donors. That is not faked. You can't pad volunteers. You can't pad number of donations. And that's not about sample size. That's about actual butts in the seats. So, all right, guys. So, gut up. Get it together. Lift your head up. Stand tall. Brenda's got a baby. And that baby is Bernie Sanders. That wasn't good because bad things happen with Brenda's baby. Forget that. Ambitions of a rider. And I'm riding for Bernie on this one. All right. Now, I'm going to add this segment, guys. This is like just extra. If you're around the water cooler tomorrow on the Friday, looking at the clock going, man, come on, it's almost time to go. God, I can't wait to get out of here. If you're doing that, you're looking for something to say to make yourself sound cool or like you pay attention to the news, here goes a couple of fun things that happened today that I noticed while I was on Twitter. Check this out. These are lighthearted stories that are just going to be quick hits, lighthearted stories. Number one is Dave Rubin. Hey, say you got a friend and you want to talk to him about how horrible some people are on the right. Check this out. Dave Rubin, gay right-winger Dave Rubin tells Donald Trump Jr. it's okay to call him an F. You can call me whatever you want. You can call me an F right now, and it wouldn't mean anything to me. Wow, Johnson. All right, so I want all my friends, all my white friends right now, and my Latino friends, I want all my friends to know my name is not Dave Rubin. All right? I don't care who you are. You call me the N-word, them's fighting words, all right? I don't know you like that. Dave Rubin is a special kind of sellout. He's a whole new category of sellout. Steven from Django's like, boy, this man crazy. Look at that sellout up on that nag. What? In the big house? That sellout? What kind of sellout is this? Hey, man, Dave Rubin is horrible. I'm telling you, man, he is an epitome of sellout. So I don't care who you are. I don't know, man. Look, I don't know if there's like a membership card. I know we did a skit back in the day. Me and my son did a skit called the Black Card Revocation Unit, where we were an organization of like superheroes, and what we would do is go snatch people black card from them when they did some things that are really out of pocket. I think you need an LGBTQIA revocation unit where you go and you snatch people's LGBTQIA card from them. Just take it from them. And I'm sure Dave Rubin would just give it to you. But I'm just saying, I mean, it's got to be a level that you go to that's so low that you can't call yourself part of the group anymore, man. You just can't. I mean, he just said, Donald, now he's not even talking about, he's not even giving himself the credit of selling out to the top Trump. He's selling out to Donald Trump Jr. Who sells out for Donald Trump Jr.? Come on, man, that guy, that Richie Cunningham smile and Patsy Weber hairstyle, who's selling out to that guy? Dave Rubin is. Man, that's how much people love money. Man, they're selling kids, their soul, and dignities are nothing. Oh, man, dignity. That dignity out of here. What I need dignity for? I got money. Up next. Told you it's lighthearted stuff, Johnson. Trump asked Supreme Court to bar release of his tax returns. A fight over a Manhattan grand jury subpoena could yield a major decision on presidential power. Lord have mercy, guys. Look. Oh, Lord. Home stretch. I know there's people out there who love to defend Donald Trump. Somehow, there are people who are really, really conservative who somehow ended up, like, I don't know, watching this show. or you support a candidate because you think they whatever, and it's like everybody's all mixed up and all crazy. So we got people that think certain ways, influencing other people. Listen, I don't talk about Donald Trump because everybody else talks about him. I don't need to be redundant. I mean, everybody else, every cable news that's not Fox and Breitbart are talking about Donald Trump daily, day in, day out. So I don't talk about him, but please, read my lips. Donald Trump is hiding something. I don't talk about it, but it's obvious. If Donald Trump's taxes exonerated him or made him look good, he'd have been put him out there. He'd have put his taxes out so quick, he would have got a paper cut on his little hands showing them. He'd have been like, if it made him look good, he would. Who hides things that make you look good? Stevie Wonder could see that Donald Trump got something to hide, man. But no, we got people pretending that it's just the deep state. It's the deep state that they want Donald Trump. They're just picking on Donald Trump. Come on, man. You guys sound like the guy whose wife want to see his phone. And you're like, nah. Can't see my phone. Well, I just need to look at something real quick. My phone is dead. The battery's not charged. No. I'll look it up for you. You had something, Johnson. I just pissed a lot of people off. Like, Tim, thanks a lot, Tim Black. I don't watch your show. I don't watch your show for you to do this. Okay? Talk about Trump, man. Come on, man. All right. So, the point is, Donald Trump hides something. And if you can't see that, you're too stupid. You're stupid. Keep it real, Johnson. Last but not least, Hillary Clinton says many people. How many minis? Hillary Clinton says many people pressured her to consider 2020 presidential run. Also, just in, the tooth fairy is real. So is Santa Claus. And so is the Andrew Yang's Freedom Dividend. Woo! God. I'm bad, man. Why do I want drama? Nah, seriously, guys. Seriously. Nah, man, nobody asking Hillary to run. Run away, maybe. You know, only person asking Hillary to run anywhere is Bill Clinton. Hey, come on, Hillary. Hillary, why don't you just run away? Come on. Gosh damn it, Hillary, just all this time I've been wondering if you would just leave. You know, I'm just saying it's been so long, Hillary, I don't know why won't you just leave, Hillary? Lord, Hillary, just run away from home. Just go be somewhere. Why can't you go somewhere else, Hillary? I want to hang out with Chris Tucker and Ice Cube. Yay. I want to hang out with Chris Tucker and Ice Cube. I want to have some fun and smoke some weed or something. No, but I got you sitting up here complaining. Nobody wants you to run. Just run away from home, Hillary. Just go, Hillary, go. Yeah. She has to be the center of attention. That's what it is. She's got to be the center of attention. If she's not the center of attention, something's wrong. She got nothing else. She don't have any cats. You know? Chelsea grew up. Bill's got a couple girlfriends. He has no reason to come home ever again. Like, this is the deal, man. Like, this is it. She's got nothing. She's in tour in the UK right now, just yipping and yapping and just making up stuff. Tulsi Gabbard's she's an asset. And people want me to run. And I'm putting shoulder pads in my jackets. People are like, anyway, that's it. All right, guys, tomorrow is Freedom Friday. Be here at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Call into the show. You get 3 to 5 minutes to talk, depending on how many people we got in the queue. People call up and they voice their opinion on any issue. We don't screen calls, but we don't do trolls. I say we don't suffer fools or trolls. But if you want to call up, you got something you want to talk about, you want to say some stuff, this is a forum to do it. It will be on YouTube, but it also will be on Stitcher Radio and iTunes as a podcast. So be a part of it tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here. Freedom Friday. We've been doing it for like 4 years. The Freedom Friday show is very popular. I hope you come be a part of it. We need you. What else? I think that's it. We got new videos coming up every day. We're going to have individual clips of this show are going to be available. Don't forget, join the Tim Black Wolfpack right here on YouTube, or you can join us on patreon.com, Tim's Take Live. Do it today for as little as $5 or more. You become a member of the community, and we are going to be doing some really cool stuff. So keep hope alive. People power. Don't let nobody take your cornbread. We need us a revolution, Johnson. We need you. All right, guys. Now let me go to Super Chat, see if anybody got Super Chat comments that I need to read out. Let's do that. Let's see what we got. Anybody got comments? Brother need to read. Oh, we got a couple new members, man. Let's see what we got here. So thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you. Let's see. Elijah Freeman. Thank you, Elijah. Elijah says, in convo, I like to have the convo. Okay. I don't know what that is. In convo, I like to have the convo. Okay. Jason from Detroit. Jason from Detroit says, why is Nico so stupid and obsessed with Tulsi? I'd like to know why Nico said that I'm only supporting Bernie for money. That was cold, man. That was cold. Like he's not my friend anymore, man. I saw him. I not only know he said it because of what he said, I saw him tweet it. And that's a low blow. You know, it's like, is Sam Cedar supporting who he's supporting because of money? Is David Packman supporting who he's supporting for money? Why is it just a black guy? See, this is where it comes down. Like, Nico is Latino dude who like to claim black, but he's not. And he sometimes uses the same talking points that racist white people use. So why is it that me, who supported Bernie in 2016 and 2015, who then switched to Jill Stein, now supports the same candidate I supported 4 years ago. Why am I now a sellout? Just because I don't support Tulsi. Is it possible? Is it just possible I think Bernie's a better candidate and that's who I'm riding with? Is that possible? Or do I have to be a sellout because I'm not with... Now, you, on the other hand, Nico House, on the other hand, guys, he's the guy who has boosted 20,000 subscribers because he had Tulsi on his show. Maybe you support Tulsi because she helps you. I was already of over 100,000 before Bernie started running in 2018, 2019. So, like, anybody can use these talking points against each other. At the end of the day, do you, boo-boo. I'm going to do me. But I'm not trying to do a back and forth about it. I'm just, somebody brought it up, and I'm just saying, that was a low blow. I didn't appreciate it. And to just say that I'm doing that for money, which it's just, that's cruddy. Because I got a community that I've been building for years. And I do what I believe. And I don't know why. You can make that claim about anybody, about no matter who they support. But for you to do that with me, and you used to come on my channel, and I brought you on when nobody was bringing you on, and you still do that because I don't support Tulsi, I think it's dirty. It is what it is. This business gets dirty, man. People get pissed off. People say stuff. All right. Mr. Broken Ass says, please talk about Slackman, Kokesh, Hunter. I don't know these people. Can't talk about people I don't know. I'm sorry, man. I think Slackman's a Green Party person. I just don't know him. I'm one guy, and I don't cover everything. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who cover this person. I'm sure there's got to be some green networks. Sorry, man. Please cover Julian more. I cover him from time to time. I'm sure somebody else. I can't do everything. Other people going to have to cover that. I had the same conversation with somebody in my Patreon. Like, and I'm like, why you keep telling me that I got to cover these? Don't other people cover these things? Like, I'm not the only guy, man. I can't do it all. Sorry. And I gave the guy back his money because it's like, he keeps on saying, won't you cover Julian more? Won't you cover Green Party more? I'm like, dude, like, people don't, everybody has their specialties of what they cover. Of course I support Julian. I've put out content before supporting him. I don't know if you watch it, but I have. But, you know, like every time I hear from the person, it's just telling me, it's like accusing me of not covering them enough. As if there's a rule about how much I got to cover certain stuff. So anyway, much love to you. Sorry if you know, it is what it is, I guess, you know. Sorry you're disappointed in the one-man show not covering your guy enough. Sorry. Raleigh, Tim Run for POTUS. When's the secular crossover episode? You know, I would say, man, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm going to be bringing some people on the show, and I'm going to be going on some other shows, and that's coming up. Everybody is super busy. You know how crazy it is. But please never take us not appearing on each other's show as a form of, like, problem, you know. Our voice, you know, like, I don't want you to think there's an issue. There's no issue. It's just busy, you know. Cannabis. Great show. Good monologue on Deval. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Yeah, you know, because people are like, Tim, you're always talking about, what's her name? You're always talking about Elizabeth Warren's voice. Well, when I heard Deval Patrick's voice, I was like, perfect. But you also got to realize that there's only some voices you can do better than others, right? So it's not just, I want to always do Elizabeth Warren's voice. But gee willikers, I do it better. I do it better than some of the other voices, you know? So, you know. Janae, what's up, Janae? Thank you, Janae. Thank you, Kip. Thank you, Tra. Rogue Judas. Run, Hillary, run. Oh, God, no. Run, Hillary, run. Away, right? You left off away. Run away, Hillary. Run away. Keep the candle lit, Tim. Thank you, Kip. I appreciate you, Kip. I try to. Tomorrow, call into the show and you'll see. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. Tim, a.k.a. King of Impersonations, nobody's better. Thank you, B-Fo. Now, there's people better. Actually, I haven't done. Listen, my name is Cory Booker, and I believe that if we all come together, we can have more love. And more love will mean we can get rid of Donald Trump, because Donald Trump is a cancer on the American society, and we need love. Did I tell you that my girlfriend's name is Rosario Dawson, and that I'm a vegan? Well, my girlfriend's name is Rosario Dawson, and I'm a vegan. And Godfrey, the comedian, I saw him do Cory Booker, and I said, let me try that. So there are people who do it better. Godfrey does Cory Booker better than me. Much love to Godfrey. I want Godfrey to come on the show, actually. But much love to Godfrey, man. He's hilarious. So, yeah, there are people who do better impressions. But I appreciate you, Beef. I do. It's just, I can't lie, about that. I can't lie. And Ari Spears. There's a lot of great impressionists that I admire. You know what I'm saying? Kelly, AOC also blasted Dave Rubin on Twitter today. Well, she should have. She should have, and she's right. And I saw that Ben Dixon blasted him as well, and Ben's right. And see, that's the thing. If you disagree, Ben and I have disagreed back in the day on some stuff, but he's right to call out Dave Rubin. So we should be able to separate little arguments from reality, from current stuff, and let stuff go a little bit. You know what I mean? Because, I mean that Dave Rubin thing, that's horrible. That's horrible, man. Chef Momo said, thanks for the great takers. Hey, thank you, Chef, for you, And I know we disagree sometimes, guys. I know I'm a tough customer sometimes, right? But I do mean well, and I really care about you guys. I care about what we're building. And I know I can't do this alone, so I need your help, and we need to do it together. So, always, you can email me at tim@timblacktv.com. Follow me on Twitter. You can DM me. I'll try not to be too ticked off. But sometimes I get some really horrible stuff, but I know I got to keep the lines of communication open so that we can have a conversation. So try to lead with something kind of positive. Don't just be like, Tim, what's wrong? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Why you don't do this? You slacking. Won't you? It's like, God, man, I don't want to read that. Who wants to read that? What the hell? What's wrong? Yeah. Some people just don't have any tact or no smooth. They just be like, what the hell? I'm like, who the hell are you? Like, what the hell? Why don't you? And won't you? So sometimes by the time I get to your message, I've been through 6 of those. And yours might not even be that bad. It's just I've been through 6 of those. Won't you do this? And why don't you do this? And you don't care about this. It's like, it's like, you just feel like you get beat up on. It's like, And that's why some people don't read this stuff. They just avoid the social media. How much, some people just don't, because it can weigh on you. And it's not good for your mental health to hear so many people beating up on you a lot. You know what I'm saying? And, but when you're a small company, small independent media company like this, I feel like I have to stay engaged if we're going to have any shot at all of competing. I have to stay in the groove, involved, hands in the bottom of the earth, plowing the ground. I feel like that's what independent media has to do to stay viable. And I'm gonna say something else I saw today. I don't know if people are still here, but I was looking at the big numbers of like CNN and MSNBC and all these corporate media entities on YouTube, right? And that should be us, right? I mean, that should really be people like your brother Tim Black, people like the Humanist Report, or, Kyle, or whoever you watch. Like, whoever you watch, they should be the ones with millions of subscribers. The only reason why CNN and MSNBC and these other HuffPost, whatever, is because YouTube puts them there. YouTube keeps recommending their content. Man, people don't want, their first choice is not to subscribe to CNN. It's on cable. Why would you come to YouTube to subscribe to something you already have access to on your TV? On your, Roku, or on your, Prime TV, or your Apple TV. Like, why would you come to YouTube and add the same channels? So you can't tell me it's not being done by YouTube, because it is. They want alternative. And they want people like us who are different. You never hear this type of talk on cable news. Why would they not, just for entertainment value alone, they're going to be like, this guy's crazy. Let me see what he's going to say today. You think they feel that way about Anderson Cooper, or about Wolf Blitzer, or Don Lemon? So that's how I know for a fact that they're screwing us over, Johnson. They're screwing us over. What's up, A-Maris? Thank you, A-Maris. All right, guys. That's it. I'll see you tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Nothing but love for you. Stay cool. And remember, we need us a revolution, Johnson. And we are the revolution. Not me, us. Peace.